This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
Everybody to our meeting. I think we can keep today really short, kind of like last month. I did remember one more talking point for at the end, but does anyone have any comments right away or anything they want me to add to the agenda? All right, great. So the minutes from last month, I don't know if people got a chance to look at them, but I would love to move to accept the minutes for the July meeting. Does anyone second the motion?
Second.
Second, all in favor? Aye, wonderful. Great. So we'll go ahead and do treasurer's report.
Okay. Everything is looking in pretty good shape. Our main expense this month was for the wood for the pollinator garden for the raised beds, and we Karen attempted to get it through Flory Lumber, and their cost was, I forget now, Karen, somewhere around $350 or $60.
Yeah.
Which was, and we didn't have that amount in the account anymore. We had at the most 300, and then we bought some of the, I guess the landscaping cloth or whatever Stephen needed to put down, and so we said we just can't get it there. It's too expensive. We had budgeted about $140 to take care of this. So Karen, bless her soul, went over to Home Depot and they cut everything up for her. I didn't have to get involved in doing any of the cutting, and we put them together Tuesday. I guess it was Tuesday night, and it was a cost of $126 and some odd cents, and I took it out of petty cash since we don't want to have purchase accounts with those outside people. So hopefully we can try to keep limiting ourselves to our local people. Unfortunately, Flory Lumber just, I don't know why they're so much more expensive for some of the same basic materials, but they were. So we had to go elsewhere. And that's basically it. We're in pretty good shape. The if you look at the budget thing, again, I'll just say that when we have in the income area, if you look at the budget variance, if numbers are positive, we're doing better than expected. And if you're looking down at expenses and you see negative numbers, we're doing better than expected or right now. If you see positive numbers and expenses, we've gone over to what we intended to spend. But I think we're in good shape. So that's my report.
Mark?
Yeah, Ted, I love your report. It looks like we have a nice balance right now, $490 in our account. What do you anticipate? Any other expenses coming up toward the end of the garden season? Or
the main one, which probably will be somewhere around November or so, will be the irrigation, which we're estimating at maybe as much as $250. So a good part of the remaining money is going to go for our irrigation services. As I say it, we do have a little left over to, if there are other expenses that we have. Let's just say, what do we have? I don't think we're still a little bit under on what we thought we'd need for compost and soil. We're under on equipment. Still got $50 left there. We're over on equipment maintenance. I still have to get something from Frank, some receipts, so I can reimburse him for some gas and oil. And that's about it. Let's see. Building materials, we still have $13 left, so we can probably buy a board if anybody needs a board.
Just one.
Just one.
All right.
Thanks.
Well, I'm trying to remember when I had talked about, I still haven't heard any updates from Frank, but when we had talked about the wiring for the compost, was that going to come out of building materials?
Those would be building materials, and
okay.
We if we get them through Obersham where we have a purchase order, we'll wind up going over in that particular area.
Yeah.
So that if
okay.
if we agree that that's an expenditure we should make, well, we could probably do it, and perhaps, if we stay under with soil and compost, I don't know how much your what was it you were going to put?
Yeah, I think we decided it was $100. I think it's like 98 or whatever I looked, but last meeting we just decided 100 for that project. Yeah. But my guess is, since I still haven't heard from Frank, and we can talk about it more, that this will be a project that we just wait to do next spring, because I don't know if it makes sense to start it this late.
Yeah. Well, I think we could fit it in if you were able to start it, and looking at the overall budget, I think as long as we don't make any more expenditures in some of the other areas, that would be fine. And that's to say, just trying to stay within our budget, try to stay within what we've taken in, rather than to start depleting our base reserve. Pay as you go.
Yeah. Awesome. Gosh, it's great. It's great to know what's happening. This is a great new kind of setup for everything. It's spectacular. So. Any other questions? All right. Should we, let's see, I motion to approve the
I have a question, Sarah.
Oh, yeah.
It was me who emailed you, who texted you.
Oh, great. Okay, awesome.
And can someone else do the notes? I have some issues that will make it difficult for me to do that. I injured my wrist and my eyes are kind of messed up.
Oh no,
Margie, I have to take the minutes that get sent to the town anyway, so we can always reference those. My notes aren't as good as yours, but they're notes.
Yeah, but my notes are just meant for community members. They don't have to know about purchases and things like that.
I'm happy to do it. I didn't ever get to it from last meeting, so but I'll try to do it right.
Thanks. It's only really necessary if there's some information that needs to go out to gardeners.
Exactly, and it might be good to that definitely is a couple things. So I think I individually contacted different people at some of the stuff from last meeting. But anyways, okay, great. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do
Thank
those
you.
minutes.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
of course. Okay, great. Do we need to approve? I guess it's the statement of position. Is that what we're?
Yeah.
All right, I move to approve the statement of position for
Second.
July. Does anyone second the motion?
I second.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Awesome. Great. Any other treasure questions or comments or compliments for Ted?
Doing a great job.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job. Keep it up.
That's right.
We'll give you a bonus.
Okay, great. Frank isn't here, so Mark, do you want to do some operations updates if you know of them?
I don't really have much to offer.
Right.
Yeah, everything seemed to be going okay. I guess the lawns are getting mowed. I don't know who's on top of that. Yeah, Frank didn't share anything with me, so I couldn't comment further.
All right. Maybe he'll come and we can do that at the end. I did just realize,
Yeah.
Karen, I wrote it in my planner to weed whack and on Monday, and I didn't. So I'm so sorry. Did you guys?
Okay.
Should
That's
I do
okay.
it still, or did you guys already do it when you're out there?
No, I still have a broken weed whacker, and so until I start using the gas one, I'll talk about that when I talk about the pollinator garden.
Okay, great. Well, if not, I need to work at the garden either tomorrow or Saturday, so I will weed whack while I'm out there.
Okay.
I should have just done it. There was one day I went to do it and then talked myself out of it for some reason. This is
Well, it's hot out.
It is. Okay, awesome. So we'll pause on operations then. All right, outreach. Margie, do you have anything?
Yeah, the only thing I have is that we have one person on the waiting list. Her name is Fiona,
Ooh.
and I asked her if she wanted to start now. And I did say she would pay full price. This was like maybe 2 weeks ago anyway, and because you can still grow things now.
Mhm.
Or I said she could start at the end, like September, October, and not pay. But she said she'd rather wait till next year because she's working on a vegetable farm.
Would she want to reserve that one plot that we have? Is that
I didn't ask her. I can ask her.
maybe just do, because then I assume that
Well,
will make it easier.
Yeah, but since she's first on the waiting list, she will get.
Oh yeah, and then she could have her choice if somebody else drop. Okay, yeah, perfect. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
cool. That makes sense.
And there's nothing else really.
Awesome. Great, and I just realized, I think the one thing I need to do is add our new gardener to the email list. I'm worried I didn't do that for this last meeting, like.
Oh yes, please. I have to do that too. Thank you for the reminder.
I'm forgetting their name, but they're very, very nice. So it's awesome.
Do you remember her last name?
Let me see here.
I can look too, Sarah.
We'll race. Micah
Yeah,
Kennedy.
Kennedy, right? Okay.
All right. Eric, did you have any updates?
No updates.
Right. Laura was supposed to give me the Instagram information a few months ago. I'm not really sure what's going on, but I'm still just kind of waiting on that so that we can advertise better in the spring, or at least have one more notification for available plots and such in the spring. So that'll be great. Awesome. All right, any more for outreach?
Not for me.
Great. Did you want to talk any path maintenance, Eric?
I haven't done anything aside from walking the paths and picking up some of the thistle out of the
Cool.
out of the wood chips. But no, the person who's in, let's see, that would be C6, who's taken over for C6, did some path maintenance on that, and it's looking really good. So that's at least putting
Yeah.
me to shame and making me want to do the rest of that path that goes in front of my garden. So that's probably where I'll start sometime next week, and then work from the top of the garden and work my way down. Or well, let's start at the end this year and work our way back up.
Yeah. Well, I'll have another work day this month, and so I do think we should probably focus still on thistling. But if we have enough people show, we can do some path stuff. But there's been a lot of good paths. I've noticed people are kind of maintaining the paths pretty well anyway. So
Yeah, they're still walkable. So good job.
yeah, heck yeah. Okay, great. Donation garden. I don't have any updates as far as the people planting stuff, but Stephen, did you want to talk about donations?
I was muted. No, not. Well, yeah, I will talk about them. Basically, so far to this point, we've had one small bag of largely kale and a little teensy pepper, and that's all we donated. I did take a photo of it and sent that around. There was nothing this week. I mean, basically, as best as I can tell, this may be the best growing summer I've seen. So it is a little surprising that there have been basically no donations or little to no donations.
Yeah, go ahead, Eric.
Steven, could you send me a photo of the donation so I can put it up on the Facebook and maybe
Sure.
motivate people to donate some stuff?
Okie dokie.
Well, I mean, I'm glad people are enjoying everything from their plots at the very least. It's always good to have extras, but I feel like it's probably like later season people start to realize I don't need any more of this actually, and we'll get more donation brained. Right now, at least I'm pretty protective of all my stuff because I actually don't have a ton of vegetables. I grew mostly flowers, so the few tomatoes I have, I'm like clutching onto. So. And I'll try to check in with the people at the grow bags. I know since they started later, a lot of people, there's a farm I'm working with for work. Their tomatoes still aren't ready. Pretty much any tomatoes that went in as late as those did probably aren't ready. Okay. All right. Anything else, Stephen?
No.
Okay.
Oh well, yeah. I'm not able to do it this coming week, this Monday. I think I sent you something, Sarah. But
oh, okay, cool. I couldn't tell if that was for everyone or if it was just for me. I would say since the donations have been small, maybe we'll just skip this week and then see if the following.
Okay.
Then there's more. Cool. Awesome. I'll write a note about that. Donations this week. Okay, great. Karen, pollinator.
Yeah, so we were very lucky to get reasonable prices on the wood we needed and got it all cut there. And all I had to do was haul it back. And then Ted and I put it together, which was wonderful. So they're all built. They're all in the west side of the garden. The only issue still is that I need a functioning weed whacker. So I may just bite the bullet and go in and look at the gas one and see if I can use that. But that's what I need to do is whack all the weeds and then put layers in those boxes and prepare them so that they won't grow weeds now and we'll have them ready for next summer.
How exciting. Oh my gosh. I mean, what's in there looks so beautiful. that type of bee balm that was growing is one of my favorites. I'm forgetting the name, but the like lemon bee balm or
Yeah.
spotted,
Mhm.
whatever, whichever one it is. So
Yeah, the
nice.
spotted bee balm. Yeah, that was lovely. I hope that they spread out, bush out, and we get more of that. Yeah. So and I
Yeah.
still have some more plants here at the house that I can transplant over. Just it's just, you know, sometime this summer I'll get that done. And early next summer, I will be asking if we can buy some dirt again to fill up those 3 beds on the other side. And I'm hoping that there'll be enough in the budget then for us to do that.
Awesome. Awesome.
So if people want to, you know, on the work days or whatever, I've talked to a couple of people, but you know, it's very hot and humid. So if people had, you know, even an extra 15-30 minutes to weed whack around the edges of the pollinator garden, that would be great. Because the border moved, I'm gonna weed whack that strip, put cardboard down, and then plant a row of something over in that new area that we didn't know was part of the pollinator garden.
Cool.
Oh, and I didn't want to forget to mention this. There's the poison ivy is back. It's back as usual, and I'm hoping that there's some vinegar in the shed. It really has to be killed. If it just cutting it just tells it to come back even stronger. So it needs to be killed with vinegar.
All right.
Karen, is vinegar good for killing all weeds?
Well, it kills a whole lot of things. Yeah. It's not like salt. I mean, salt will ruin your ground, but the vinegar will eventually rinse out. So I wouldn't put it in my garden at this point, but I would put it there for sure and not worry about that. And this is the 30% agricultural vinegar, not powder.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. Good to know.
All right. I'll
Yeah.
maybe try to go get that at the hardware
Yeah,
store. Okay.
if we're out, is it okay if I have seen them over at Lowe's and Home Depot. So if we're out, can I just pick up another gallon of it?
It might be easier to check with the hardware store first, just so we can charge it straight to our account there.
Oh,
and then you
okay.
don't have to pay for it at all.
Okay.
Yep.
But let me know if you
Totally
get
fine.
there first, because I might be going there sometime this week. I love going to the hardware store for some reason. So I if I get there before you, I'll message that I got it.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Awesome.
Sarah, if you're going in the garden tomorrow, I can meet you depending on the time and we can do some weed whacking to get that over with.
Oh my gosh. Both of us at the same time with the weed whackers.
Going.
Wow. You crazy. Someone would have to take our picture. We'd look very cool. All right,
some
cool.
cold beverages.
Yeah. Caitlin is always bringing at least a bunch of seltzers. So yeah.
Smart.
Awesome. Any other pollinator things, questions?
No.
All right. So compost stuff. Frank isn't here, so I can't ask him. I'm assuming he has not talked to that farmer who might help him push the weeds back. I do feel like his hesitance. I'm worried that maybe it just doesn't make that much sense to like pursue that part of the project, and maybe eventually it would be great to push all of that to the side and just not have like a big pile of stuff there. But I feel like we've been rumored that a farmer could help us do that for about 2 years now, and I'm like feeling a little nervous it might not happen. So after doing thistle weeding at the last work day, I kind of went back to thinking that we probably could safely do our compost on the dead, or like the put to bed donation or put to bed plots, because this is going to be a hot compost operation, and I think that would kill a lot of our weed seeds and thus the thistle if it gets in there, because it will be going very hot. I also feel like the amount of space that we would use, we could cover the ground with the landscaping cloth just to make sure. And because it might be a little bit too much to get going late summer based on how hard it is to get people to come to work days this late in the summer, it might just be better to start that project on the first work day in the spring. Especially because that's when all the thistle is, everything's died back and we can just suppress it right away. So that is my thought for our new compost streams, is to make it a 2025 project. Does that feel good to everyone or not good to anyone?
Sounds good.
Yeah. Awesome. Great. And then we can account that like at the end of the year when Ted, when you go into the next year budget thinking, that can be something that's in mind. In addition to what Karen said about the dirt, maybe we'll just already know there's 2 projects that are on our brains for next year.
I love you guys putting in your bids for next year already.
Yeah. It's good. It's just it makes me feel very official. Yeah.
Well, look to the future. Yeah, that's good. Looking forward.
Signs of a good CEO.
Yeah.
Oh, I skipped your volunteer hours. For that update, I reached out to all the people. It was very few people, I think like 5 gardeners who haven't done any volunteer time. I reached out to them. One person had done work, they just hadn't logged them yet. And then I haven't heard from the other like 4. So I'll maybe try to reach out to them again. But regardless, having that few people, like that means like so many people have been working at the garden this year. If it's only 4 gardeners, that is great. The way I've been managing it is a combination of who comes to the work days and what Deb has record of. So I'll keep pestering those last few people, but that's really great. It's really exciting how involved everybody is in the garden.
Sarah, is there a consequence if you don't fulfill your work obligation?
We talked about it a lot at different points. Like we've said, you are at the risk of losing your plot, which I think is only ever meant that if somebody doesn't fulfill their hours, it's kind of like the weed inspection. We reach out to them a lot and then just have a discussion that's like, hey, you do need to do this. And then it's usually somebody saying, well, I'm not going to renew my plot anyways, or, it seems like we don't have like, oh, this is it and it's over. It's just like continuous warnings and conversation until the end. Margie?
I just entered my son's volunteer hours. I don't know if you have Noah down there.
I had assumed he'd done some.
He did a lot. And
now it's on the
I'm doing it for him too. That was part of the deal.
Cool. Well, he built you a fence. Oh no, Margie's gone. Hopefully she'll come back. But him building that fence, I think, was pretty big hours. Great. Mark, did you have any comments on the consequences aspect?
Yeah, well, the thought was, maybe there's an end of the year, one last chance, and and so at some point the word would go out to those folks who hadn't fulfilled their requirement. You have one last chance, if it's going to be a work day in late August or September to fulfill your requirement. Please know that, failure to do that may endanger something, your eligibility for next year. I mean, I think you have to be honest with people. That's only fair to all the people who did do their work, that everybody should be
Mhm.
required to.
Yeah.
That's my thought. That's my thought.
Margie?
I just wanted to say, I keep getting booted off the meeting.
Yeah, that's what was happening to Mark usually. I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah, it's something about Google Meet. I just think Google Meet's not as great as Zoom.
Google Meet is awful. I do this instead of Zoom. We do this for a work meeting, and people are constantly being booted off, and
Yep.
there's no sound, and then it freezes. But I
Right.
haven't had this problem before.
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt.
I wonder.
But makes you wonder
but-
if it's the meeting. It's the device used by the city. Is that correct? And that's why we use it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have problems or they can be of assistance.
Yeah, I wonder if I can email Barbara and see if they'll put us in contact with somebody in the tech zone about.
Yeah, that'd be
How
great.
much would it cost them to get Zoom?
I don't know. They just
thought it
don't
was
seem
a
to want
cost
to
item.
do it. We asked them about it and they were pretty firmly like, yeah, we're just not like the whole city isn't doing that. It didn't seem negotiable, but then I guess I wonder if we could put that in our budget. What if we just got an account for Zoom? I don't know if the city then could connect it or something. But
Good idea. Yeah.
I do want to understand our relationship to the city more in terms of what they can provide for us and like some of those things. Because part of, we could put it in our budget, but sometimes I don't understand. Like, we're not what are we like? Somebody asked if we're a nonprofit, and I was like, no, we're not. But what are I don't know what we are. We're a community garden. I don't know if we need, I guess, a name. We don't have to file taxes, but I wonder how the city markets us in their realm.
How much does Zoom cost?
I
It's about
before
100
we,
and, wait, my wife and I have an account where we can run Zoom. She does a lot of Zoom meetings, and she's the expert. I can get on a Zoom meeting. She can run a Zoom meeting. But it's about $160 for a year. And so that you can actually have meetings with more people and with you don't have the 45-minute time limit for the free Zoom, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So
Is that figure, Ted? Is that a commercial rate or is there a private rate?
I don't know. That's the rate that we pay.
Okay.
Stephen?
yeah, I mean, it's not a question of cost and who's paying for it. I mean, I shouldn't say that. The city made a determination that for citywide, that this was a less expensive expense than Zoom. But the problem is just us switching out is not going to work, okay? Because we have to be connected. I mean, this goes through Easthampton Media. Everyone can access the meeting stuff. So it's just not going to, us being separate on some Zoom island is not going to be workable.
That's not
So
Well,
then
I'll email Barbara just to make sure and then let you guys know. I'm sure Stephen's right, but it won't hurt to just, if I'm already going to email the tech folks about if they have tips for getting booted out, I can ask.
yeah, I think it's only fair talking to the city that we tell them we have a problem with this, and it would help if, as you say, the tech people or someone can remediate it. I imagine some of them must have the same problem with their meetings. I would guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, because they probably can't have it for the city council meetings. That'd be so annoying. But
so
yeah, really.
I mean, I'm not saying, Mark, that we shouldn't relate the problems we've had. But what I'm saying is that in terms of a solution, just keep that in mind. The IT folks are very open. We can, Sarah, we can connect with them directly. We don't have to kind of go through Barbara. I mean, they have their own line. I've worked with them, when we were
I
just
have
starting on.
as well. I just don't have their email in my saved email. So I usually just ask Barbara to like
I
put
can
me in
look
contact
for it.
with the right person. But yeah, if you have it somewhere, that would
But
be
I
awesome.
think I think on the city website, it's that all their contact information is available.
Okay,
I'll take a look right now.
great.
Yeah, let's get help.
Yeah. We've kind of organically moved into gardener feedback, and while Stephen looks for that email address for me, does anyone have any other feedback? Right.
Mark, is somebody speaking of?
No.
Oh, well, Margie and I had a discussion recently about it would be fun to have some part of our meetings maybe share gardening tips at some point in the future, because everybody
Yeah.
seems to be doing interesting things that kind of solve problems, or they're trying new crops that nobody else has tried. And it would be nice to have kind of an educational piece to our meetings.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, like I'd like to know more about your flowers, Sarah, and what you grow and why you grow it, and what works. I know Christine grows a lot of flowers too.
Well, I was really Christine's amazing amaranth has inspired me for years. So I just started growing it the past 2 years. It's just so beautiful dried, and then you just have it all winter. And yeah, I grow a lot of stuff for winter. But I love that idea. We could put it at the end, like right around the gardener feedback portion. Yeah, Stephen.
We've done this at least a couple of times, including last year, although I don't think it was well attended. But this leads me to think again about, having a garden tour. Right?
Yes, I didn't have that on the agenda, but I had added it in. Do we want to talk about a date for that? That would be fun.
Yeah, I think we need to get it out earlier, I think. So people can know about it earlier.
Would trying to do it in August feel like something nice, or should we wait till September?
I think more people are back, Sarah, at the beginning, in September, and that's when people are still getting a lot of yields. I mean,
Yeah.
So maybe like, some point after Labor Day, but not too far into the month, gives folks, a full month notice.
So
Yeah, and also it'll be not as hot then. Also.
Yeah, not as hot
Yeah.
too.
Wonderful.
Well, it was last year's garden tour where I saw Eric's garden and his raised beds. Turned me on to raised beds. I am very, very happy.
I will say
to a new way.
Work days lately have had like secret garden tours. When it gets too hot, I feel like there's like a good break where like the group will all walk around and just look at everybody's flats. So that's nice.
Maybe the weekend of September 8th or something.
Yeah. Is like a
7th?
Sunday better, or should we do like wait until the weekend? It looks like it's oh my God, Friday the 13th or
that's lucky.
Saturday. Yeah, so we could do it Friday 13th. Fun.
We got to change the narrative on that.
Right.
Does anyone have conflicts with like a Friday evening?
Nope.
All right, well, let's do that. Oh, 9/13 Friday. We have a oh, I guess I can just ask about it now. For something like this, would we have room in the budget for something like ordering dinner, like some pizzas for anyone who comes, and then everyone can be chatting and walking?
I think potlucks kind of work pretty well.
We don't have a very good setup for that at the moment, is my concern, because of we still don't have a good garden table, but I guess we don't have to worry about people sitting necessarily.
Well, bring bring a chair. I can bring a table.
Okay, I
You
guess
know,
we
an
have the
open up
glass
table type of thing that people can put food on.
Cool.
I mean,
Awesome. That sounds cute. And if people only bring like small things, that's fun. That's fun too. It doesn't have to be like a crazy meal.
well, if we're talking about
Wonderful.
evening,
Yeah,
on
do we do
Friday,
like 5-ish? Is that
Remember, it's going to get
it's-
darker.
it's going to get
Yeah.
darker sooner by
Yeah.
then, but so it's hard to start much earlier than that. So 5 probably would be the latest.
I wonder if there's a way for me to look up when sunset is
Oh,
supposedly
yeah,
starting.
absolutely.
Sure.
Just Google sunrise, sunset, local, Easthampton.
Sunset September.
It might be better attended on a Saturday or Sunday because I assume fewer people work on the weekend.
Yeah.
This says sunset around that time. Google doesn't say the source. Says 7:03 is sunset, so we'd still have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Oh, yeah, that's not bad.
citronella, tiki torches I can bring too. Just in case.
Frank will bring a beer.
Yeah. Would it feel better to switch to a weekend instead of a Friday?
I would vote for a Sunday and get a little bit earlier, do something a little earlier. Just,
All right.
Like
Mark, were you
what,
going to say?
what are you thinking, Ted, like 3 to 6 or something like that on a Sunday?
or like a 1 o'clock, almost have a few little nibbles in the middle of the day. We did that with another group. Steven, remember, I forget where we were, but then we came back to
The
the
orchard.
little gazebo up at the farm stand.
Yes, at
just
the
up
orchard.
street. And and we had, we brought some drinks and we brought our own lunch or something like that. And everybody bring what you want to eat, and maybe we could put together some drinks.
We won't be able to use the gazebo, but that's
No, but I mean, if we came to the garden here and we could just set up, and people could bring what they want to eat. Bring your own lunch, something to drink. We can sit around, we can talk, we can look at the gardens, and
You're thinking 1-ish is is what you said?
yeah, I was just thinking more like a lunch kind of a thing earlier in the day. It should be cool enough
Yeah.
at that time of year.
And it would be nice because then if people wanted like do a little work on like their garden, there'd still be time for that. And, it wouldn't be,
There's always going to be some people who want it earlier and some people who want it later. I don't think we're ever going to it's not like everyone's going to come if we pick a certain time.
right.
So we should just choose a time that suits us and then invite people.
Yeah.
Does that
makes
everyone
sense.
here, is anyone opposed who's here right now to a 1 o'clock Sunday gathering?
That would be breakfast for me.
Oh, you're just getting up? Margie,
Brunch.
No,
Wait a second.
I don't eat
not
when I
partying
get
on a
up.
Saturday night.
I don't eat when I get up.
Oh, okay. So you want brunch. Brunch is good.
Well,
Yeah.
breakfast is when you break your fast.
Yes,
That's
true.
true. That's true.
This is far enough in advance I can get work off, so 1 o'clock should be fine for me. And
that's Sunday we're saying now, the 15th?
yes, yeah.
Do you work Sunday, Sarah?
I do usually, but I can, either leave early and have someone come in to make sure we're all set, or get it switched. I think it should be great. Regardless, I'll make sure there's some baked things. I'll make it brunchy.
Yeah. You're the manager.
All right, Steven.
Yeah, it's, I will not be able to come that day, but that shouldn't, I just want to say that.
Okay.
Okay, well, it's a bummer because it's something you really love. That makes me sad.
I know. I love the idea. I think it's fantastic.
I think we should invite our significant others also who might not be gardening, who enjoy the fruits of our labors.
Yeah.
Yes, and everyone, and because it's nice to meet everyone's lives, basically. It's really, really fun.
Yeah, I don't have a particular significant other, but my kids and grandkids, they won't come at 1 o'clock on a Sunday. Most of them will be sleeping.
Oh my God, these kids know how to
The
party.
grandkids especially.
Oh,
I'm
my
getting the
goodness.
impression this family sleeps together.
No,
It's fine.
no,
Not
but
saying.
we
not
have
saying anything
we
about
have
that.
Are we
inherited
still being recorded?
Yeah, oh my
we have
God.
inherited the patterns of our
Yes.
ancestors.
Yes.
Well, I guess I would hate to force this date on everyone, but I'm gonna go with it for now. I'm gonna move for the garden tour potluck to be Sunday at 1.
But
And
can I just ask something? Stephen,
Yeah.
is there a date when you can attend on a Sunday?
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to say that just in case, so people knew. I wasn't really suggesting to change it because it isn't going to work. Like you said, Margie, it isn't going to work for everyone.
Well,
But
it
I'm
might work
curious.
for all of us.
I do believe that the Sunday before that, the 8th, I think actually, hold on, let me just double check. I'm pretty certain I'm around, but let me just double check that. I mean, I better get my butt there if I do say that. Yeah, I don't see any. I don't see anything on my calendar for that. But anyhow, so
Why
that's
don't
just,
we say the 8th?
What
The
about
8th,
anybody
and a rain
anybody
date
else?
will be the 15th.
I will not be able to do the 8th.
okay, that ends that.
But are you available the 13th? Or I mean the 14th, pardon me, the Saturday.
No, it's that whole weekend. It's a reunion. So anyway, no, Sarah, you absolutely must be there. Now, is that Sarah? Is that the 7th as well for you, or is it the 8th?
I can bring this up now too. My parents are visiting that week, so I'm gonna need someone to run the meeting on the
Yeah. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
the whole week. Okay, the whole week
Yeah.
doesn't work. Okay, yeah.
Unfortunately.
Okay,
So we could go up, we could go back to August also if we wanted. We don't have to do September if it starts to feel too late. But I guess we should decide now.
September is better because of it being cooler and people more willing to come out and walk around.
Is the
Okay, great.
22nd too late?
I don't think so.
not necessarily.
Is everybody free on the 22nd? Oh, my calendar says that autumn begins, so that must be the solstice.
Oh my God, which is perfect because
equinox.
the autumn solstice is traditionally a harvest festival.
Yeah, it's not a solstice, it's an equinox.
Or yes, the equinox.
Equinox.
And oh my gosh, that would be great.
Yeah, I don't have anything on my calendar.
So shall we
I would
do
love to make us do some a witchy gathering like that. That's awesome.
So is it the 22nd then?
22nd?
Yeah, great.
And do we have a rain date?
Should we do the rain date just the following Friday, the 27th? Or we could just do, or just not have it if it rains.
Well,
I think
as we
we're
get
running out of
closer,
time
I
for
say
rain date.
rain or shine.
Yeah, rain or shine, and unless it's like crazy rain, maybe we'll
Yeah,
just
we'll
if
all-
rain or
we'll-
shine. No
we'll-
potluck if it's raining too hard. Just
We'll all
umbrellas.
squeeze into the shed.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll
Let's take
clean up the
everything
shed.
out of the
I-
shed. We can all fit in there fine.
I have a small, I think it's a 9x9 canopy.
There's an idea.
But
Ted,
Okay,
how
Ted.
do you have everything? What is this? This is awesome.
well,
He's the man.
I'd need a lot of help just setting it up. But if we had a sort of flat area, but
Well, how about we plan the tour, rain or shine. In terms of the follow-up potluck, we can have another place that's covered as as the potluck for that potluck time. You just say
Yeah.
the tour is at whatever time, and that the follow-up is that time, and that way we can take care of a rain thing. That's if it's raining. Okay, that's the rain plan. Tour.
Yeah.
Whatever time, followed by potluck. I mean, I guess I'd offer my house.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh my gosh, that's so nice.
My house is
Um,
like as big as a shed.
So beautiful. Well, that's great. I will announce this then. And I think I'll do the notes tomorrow, and I'll announce the garden tour and such. And then, since there's a garden meeting before,
Yes.
I'll put it in the agenda to really nail out some logistics as far as, the rain ideas and such. So that's exciting. Can I ask, is anyone willing to run the meeting on, it's the 5th? I know we usually confirm the next meeting date at the very end, but spoiler alert, it's September 5th is the first Thursday of next month. Can anyone run the meeting that day?
I think. Let me just double check. Sorry, it looks like I'm okay on that day.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Stephen. That means a lot. Let me know if anything changes, but that's awesome. Thank you.
You just relieve my guilt.
No. Oh my gosh. It's a lot to ask. I do really appreciate it. I just yeah, it's gonna be helpful. So thank you very much. Great. And the other thing I wanted to bring up that maybe we can talk more about next meeting, or to put in your ears, is I was reading a little bit about how to prep my garden for fall. And some people say top dressing with compost in the fall is actually really great. And we often do it in the spring. But I'm wondering if we just want to see if we could do another compost buy-in in the fall, just like how we do it in the spring. See if gardeners want to pay for so many cubic yards and have another drop off. And then I was wondering with that, Karen, as well, you could get started on some of those pollinator plots that you've mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
versus having to wait till the spring.
So for beds, compost is wonderful, but you need a combination of dirt and compost. So that's why I'm aiming for the spring. I'm happy to consider if it seems like a good idea to buy compost this fall, that would be okay. But in terms of building up beds, you want dirt mixed with compost.
Yeah, but if you put the compost down in the fall, you're not going to be planting. So once the spring comes, you can add the topsoil with a little more compost and mix it up.
Yes, but my only concern is that compost is organic matter that's going to be breaking down over the winter. So
yeah.
I mean, if you all decided to do that, and I'm going to be putting, just to keep the weeds down like I've done in the past, putting in weed whack-it, put in a layer of cardboard, put in a layer of wood chips. I can put compost on top of that and spread cover seed on that, and that should die. But then in the spring, it does need dirt and compost to be a properly structured bed.
Well, I'm wondering, because I also Mark said the same place could get topsoil, and I do need some topsoil, and I'm wondering what their minimum shipment is and how many gardeners would be interested in maybe topsoil as well. So
I think it's 5 yards.
5 yards. Okay, great.
Super interested in topsoil and second round of compost.
Oh my God. And then John's here too.
John's on call, so.
Great.
Oh.
Well, I think what I might do is send out like a Google form so interested gardeners can say, I want compost, I would be interested in either. And then if we have enough interested people, Mark, are you comfortable taking that on again for a second time this year, organizing, getting checks and things?
Sure, we can work something out.
Okay. Let me know if it's not something you want to deal with. That totally makes sense.
Well, it might be good to have somebody else involved to help with the delivery in case I can't make it. But
yeah, I can definitely try to do
I can
that.
probably place the order once we get the checks organized.
We can also, we're so close. So if you need somebody to help with the delivery or be there, John and I can assist there as long as we're around.
Okay. And if not, I can help out. If it's just being there for the delivery too, I can help with that.
Awesome. And then Margie, your hands up.
Yes, I have a question. I'm just interested because I don't know this. Karen, if you don't want to put compost in a bed in the fall because it breaks down, doesn't all the stuff go into the soil anyway?
Well, I'm putting in wood chips, so it's going to filter down through the wood chips.
Isn't that good?
Well, not really. I mean, for me to be transplanting plants next spring, I want a reasonable layer of dirt and compost, a few inches thick, to put them in. And not what has been sitting there since September to May.
But if there was some topsoil put in the fall plus compost, then it would be good.
Well,
then
yeah,
on top a tiny bit.
So if I have a layer of something reasonable, I'm putting the seeds in for cover soil, and they should sprout, and then they're going to die. So we're going to have that additional organic matter and that protection for the beds.
Cool. So it's just about having enough stuff on top of the wood chips to hold any of that compost and make it valuable versus it just going too far down for the baby plants to.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have a good clump of roots on them. I want them to be secure. I want to be able to, secure them in enough soil compost to keep them steady and feeding, and enough water is being held to protect them from drought.
Awesome. Well, this is exciting. This is a lot of fun stuff. And does anyone have any other things they want to mention before we wind down here?
Just some clarification. Are we going to put out to the community about the educational stuff? If anybody's asked if people are interested, and
I'm going to go ahead and add it to next week's or next month's agenda. I'll just put it at the end right here before old business, like kind of near the gardener feedback. People can share share ideas and things, or questions. Be more specific that this is like a genuine time for questions.
And we can ask if anybody has anything in particular they'd like to present or they'd like to have presented.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'll specify that.
Yeah, it was really helpful last year to get information about, shutting down the garden for the winter and things to do in fall.
Do you all remember, was it Alyssa? She was very active cleaning up the shed. She put together a whole thing about, she took all of our suggestions and put together a whole thing on preparing the garden for winter.
Yeah, it was
I might
very
still
helpful.
have it somewhere. Yeah.
I have a garden folder in my email box. I just put everything in. I'm sure it's probably in there somewhere. We should put it in the drive if I find it. And so then it's in that everyone can access that.
I'll look
I know
for
there's
it too.
Okay, great.
I might have it too.
Cool. I think there's also some other like information like that in the drive that we should check also. Fab. Okay, great. Anything else? Awesome. So September 5th, 7 o'clock is the next meeting. And yeah, that's exciting. I will try to plan a work day here for August. I don't know when yet. Maybe not this Sunday, but the following. But I'll add that to the email for tomorrow too. And just let me know if you're anyone has a project that they want people to work on. Great. Oh, Stephen, yeah.
No, I know you said we're going to set the final details at the, soon about the garden tour. But are we thinking about something like a 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock? I'm just trying to get a sense of the day.
I think, for like what time to do the actual tour?
Rough times. Yeah.
I would say if everyone's supposed to get there at 1, people won't get there till 2, so we could say 2.
Well, the reason I'm asking is that if we go into a plan B for where we're having the potluck, is it kind of like a lunch potluck thing or dinner? That's what I'm trying to.
It sounded like lunch or breakfast. Brunch.
Breakfast for Margie.
Yeah, breakfast for Margie. Honestly, probably so we're probably split with the gardeners.
And that would start roughly at what time?
I'm gonna say, if we say 1 o'clock is the start time, and we say the tour starts at 1:30.
Why don't you give them an hour for people to eat and chat?
Okay, right around. Okay, so everyone arrives at 1.
Show up, and then the garden tour start at 2 or something like that.
Oh, great. I see. Reverse the order, Ted, so that if it's raining, we'll meet it. I offer my house. We meet at my house first and then go to the garden. Is that what
I guess I would say if we're going to deal with the rain aspect, then people should just meet at the garden at 1, tour the garden, and then go to Stephen's house. But if it's not raining, say it starts at 1, get there at 1 to mingle a little bit. Everyone slowly trickles in. 2 o'clock, we'll all do the walk around, and then afterwards finish eating and mingling.
Okay. I'm just trying to get a time thing. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. No, if you're going to have to host, it's good to know.
Let's hope that everyone applies that word. That we'll have everyone.
Yes.
Imagine if everyone came.
I know.
Whoa.
There are some people I've never met. I really I'm like, where are they? Who are they?
And
Bring your lawn chairs.
I think Mark and I were talking, I'll just throw one more thing in. We thought it might be nice maybe for a meeting later in the season that we meet out in the back of the Brass Cat again,
Like last time, oh my God, that was so fun. I was
you
thinking
know, in person.
I'm for that.
Yeah, I like a pre-holiday meeting.
yes. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. But
Yeah,
still,
nice.
where the Gus the tables outside because the moonflowers are about to bloom over there and they're so beautiful.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay, cute. We should do that. Maybe our October meeting or something. Though I feel like the city needs these ones recorded, so maybe that would just be our some celebration of sorts. But
Yeah.
We can get a dispensation.
yeah. Okay, amazing. Anything else? No, great. All right, I move to end the meeting. Does anyone second?
Second.
Yes.
Awesome. All in favor? Aye.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.